Hello, my name is Adam and I am making a film about trains. I have also made a word search about trains, so let's chug on! Who invented the train? The man who first put steam engines on rails was called Richard Trevithick in 1804, over 200 years ago. It was George Stephenson who invented the first working steam train. It was called the Rocket. He built it in 1829. It was an engineer called Brunel who built tunnels, bridges and viaducts for the trains to go through, over and across. He also built the old Ivybridge Viaduct in 1848. You can still see some old stone columns here. I wrote an email to Plym Valley Railway to see if I can ask some questions about their train. So let's go! This is Janet. She's a fireman on Plym Valley Railway.
I'm a fireman.
They put out fires on the
No. They put out fires. It's the exact opposite. We make fires.
When did the railway first open and what was it used for?
The railways first opened in 1830. The railway here first opened about 1840 something or other. And it was it went all the way to Launceston in Cornwall. This one actually stopped in 1962. The last train ran on the 29th of December 1962. It stopped a few days late because there was a huge a blizzard, and the trains got stuck, which is why it was late.
When did it reopen?
Lady just tells you that.
2002, I think it reopened to actually run trains for a very short distance. On the 30th of December last year, we actually celebrated opening this particular railway, the Plym Valley Railway as it had become then, to Ivybridge. That was the first time this railway managed to go from one place to another and you could get out at both ends.
How many trains?
Biggie up there, that's a Type 50, that's the big main line locomotive, that one works. The two in the shed work. Albert the steam engine obviously works. And the 08, which is a shunter, which is basically, the shunters were mainly used just to move trucks and carriages from A to B and back again. We have one steam engine currently working, which is Albert. Albert was made in 1948, it was built in 1948. It's an industrial locomotive. The main part of a steam engine is the boiler, and the boiler produces steam. The fire in the hole, which eventually produces steam. We just don't produce steam, we keep heating and heating until that steam is under a big, big pressure. Is a boiler. This is what, when you see the engine shuffling up and down on the line, this is really the main part of it. If we didn't have this, it wouldn't do anything. This boiler is come off those frames there. You can actually see the shapes. Now, this bit, we call that the boiler. This bit here is the firebox. That is where we put the coal to make the fire, to heat up the water, which is in there, which in turn makes steam. That is actually a regulator dome. I suppose like a throttle or an accelerator on a car in a sense. Once you open the regulator, you allow steam up into a valve there, which then pushes the steam down through in some big pipes into, not disconnected, into these, which are the cylinders. It comes right down through into here when it's actually all in place and working. And inside that is a piston that does that all the time. Underneath, it obviously puts all this stuff in Albert engine works, he works at £140 per square inch. Now I know you work in centimetres, so please don't ask me to convert that. That one has a cab over there, and its water tank is over there, because obviously we've got to feed water into the boiler, and we have to, as you lose the steam, as you go along, you use your steam up, so you've got to replace it. Right, so this is the engine shed. This is where you're stood. It's a very long way up.
Yes.
Because normally you stand on a platform, and the platform will come to there. So you've lost, if you like, half the height. So it looks really bad, and it's also quite difficult to go in from this height. Come down here is where the steam engine is. So this is Albert. This is the one that works. All these things, or washout plugs, have to be taken out, and there's 23 of them. Come on. Okay. It's quite like your car in some ways. This is what we were talking about, is the regulator handle. So you could say it's the steering wheel, but in a way it's not, because this is what allows the steam to go from the boiler down to the cylinders by moving this along. So that's that. This is the equivalent, yeah, of your gears. Make sure it's that. At one time I couldn't do that. That's down one. That's it. He's in. That's the equivalent of your gears. So that makes more or less steam go into the cylinders. That is one brake. This is another brake. And this is one. This is one thing for your school project. Up to, let me think. I have a feeling it was 1889, I'm not sure. Before that time, there was no way you could actually put a brake on the coaches. And some awful accidents happen when things called couplings broke, which is the bit that joins one coach to another. So at that time, the powers that be decided we had to have a system of continuous braking, so that if we put a brake on in the engine, every coach had its brake on as well. If the coach broke away, you would put air into the system and the brakes would go on automatically. So we have no runaway coaches.
Those there.
What's
those
what?
Things on the ground.
What things? This is something called a damper. Under here, which you can't see from here and we won't go into it, is a big ash pan. When you get ash from a fire, it drops to the bottom.
Thank you, Janet, for helping me with my film. On the fence. Train is a fast train that travels long distances. As you see over there, that is the driver's cab where the driver controls the train. And over there as well is the engine that works the train. These are the carriages where people sit in. Some carriages have beds for you to sleep in. These are called sleeper trains. An express train can go 125 miles per hour, but the fastest train in the world is in China, and it can go 302 miles per hour. There is a floating train that goes even faster, 361 miles per hour. It uses magnets instead of tracks, but people can't go on it yet. And it's in Japan.